Good morning. This is the Lightseeker bringing you a story, my story. The story that's happening now to me. Something I really haven't told many people. It's a story about how I hate nighttime. At first I thought I was just having very vivid dreams, but years ago I had an episode of sleep paralysis, and I guess it was what you'd say the classic kind of thing. I fell asleep with the light on, and I woke up and I couldn't breathe. I woke up because I couldn't breathe, and I felt like somebody was sitting on my chest. I looked around and I could move my eyes a little bit. I couldn't see anybody, but I felt like I wasn't alone in the room, and there was this just overwhelming sense of fear. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. My chest was heavy. I thought I was going to die. I thought, well, maybe I'm having a heart attack or a seizure or something. I'm a very scientific-minded person. I study physics for fun. My job that I had for many years was analyzing data, and it was done in a very scientific kind of a way. You know, you analyze the data and you pick out the parts that fit and the parts that don't fit. You analyze those because that's where the trouble lies. You look for patterns, and that's what I did for a living. I look for patterns in data. And so this happened to me, and it only happened once in the classical sense. But for the past couple of years, and maybe longer, I really don't know when it started. I can't tell you. My nights are just awful. I feel like when I go to sleep, I don't know if I'm asleep or not when this happens, whatever it is. I know it's very tactile. I can sometimes feel things. I hear noises like banging or breathing, or I'll feel like there's something in the room that I can't quite make out. I've seen the Shadow Man, but not in this context. I actually saw him when I was working at my job, and this was in a building that had lights on and looking into a dark room. And one of my fellow employees looks and says, "Look, there's a man standing in there with red glowing eyes wearing a top hat." And I looked back and saw him. I said, yeah, I knew who he was. I had seen him before. And I knew the stories of the man with a top hat. But I don't see him at night like that. But I have these other things that happen, like the sounds and the breathing and the very tactile sensations and the memories. Sometimes there are people, I can't really call them dreams because I don't know what they are. But it feels like I'm awake all night, but I'm somewhere else. I'm not here. And if it were just nighttime, even though I really would appreciate a good night's sleep, I don't remember the last time I had one. I really don't know the last time I actually slept and woke up and felt rested. So we're going to be doing some shows on what the is that, about sleep paralysis and night terrors. It has a bunch of different names. It comes from different civilizations and different religions and have different views on it. And we're not going to make it about a religious thing. I don't want to make anybody think that we're trying to promote one thing over the other. In my case, the one time I had the classical sleep paralysis, night hag kind of thing, the only thing that made it stop was when I said an Our Father, but I had to say it in my head because I couldn't talk. And I said the Our Father, and it stopped. But it scared me to death. And I'm still scared of whatever happens at night, because I know that it's not a normal nighttime thing. And I've read literature about the medical part of it, about how it could be caused from sleep apnea or the wrong kind of diet or from stress or whatever. They got all kind of things they say can cause it, but they really don't know what it is. They'll be the first to tell you that the etymology of it is beyond them. They don't really know. I wish I knew, and I wish I knew how to make it stop, because if I did, there are a lot of people out there I know that have this kind of thing, and we could all make it stop if we could figure it out. I think maybe on some level, maybe quantum physics might play a part in it. because the shadows that people report seeing, I don't know, maybe they're multidimensional beings. I don't know. We're going to talk about that more too. But lately, my nighttime issues have become daytime issues. I was recording a segment on electromagnetic fields, and in the middle of that, I got an EVP, and I didn't even hear it. I didn't hear it at the time. The Dark Druid found it when he was doing the editing and the posting for the episode to the channel. So he sends me this link. Says, listen to what we found on your segment that you did, and it was right there. And I wasn't doing an EVP session. I didn't ask for anything to respond to me or anything. And my house has never been active. I live in a very spiritual house. We're not per se religious, and I don't want to make it about a religious thing. We don't here on this channel prescribe to one religion being any better or worse than anybody else's, or anybody else being wrong and we're right. We all have our religious views, and we don't really talk about what they are. I'm not gonna get into my religious habits. Suffices to say that I'm very spiritual, and that my nighttime issues have now apparently become somewhat of a daytime issue with the EVP, and I've also heard things here in the house that I can't figure out. You might hear noise in the background right now. That's my little bunny trying to escape out of her cage, pitching a tantrum. So while she's a lot of things, she's not paranormal. I wanted to put up this segment so that people out there would know that we're just not people trying to just put information on a channel without having, to some degree, been there. We don't share all your experiences, but I share this one with many people I know. There's whole groups of people that have this problem, whatever this thing is, however it works, I don't know, but I know there are a lot of us. So I wanted to post this to let people out there know that while we are researchers, myself and the Dark Druid, and we will research anything, and we're going to look into a lot of stuff on this show, that we both have experiences in our lives that are paranormal, and they happen to us on sometimes a daily basis. So we know what it's like to have something happen to you that you fully can't understand. When we say, what the fuck is that? That's exactly what we mean. Because we don't know. We know we heard it. We know we saw something. We know we felt something. But we don't know what it is. And I think that in the paranormal field, if anybody ever comes to you and tells you for 100% positive fact that they know exactly how it works, it's lying to you. I've researched this stuff for years. So is the Dark Druid. We belong to a group that did research, and we've done independent research for other groups. Of course, we have evidence of our own that we've collected over the years, EVPs and different things. But we're not going to sit here and tell you that we know all the answers about these things, because we don't know. We want to learn just as much as everybody else does. We want to help other people. We also want to help ourselves, because we're living with these things too. And I just wanted to let that be known, so that when you leave a comment on our page, or we go to one of your pages on Google Chrome or Google Plus and leave a comment, that we're not just trying to drum up likes. We actually want to figure these things out and help people so we can help ourselves. We're going to be doing more on the subject of sleep paralysis and night terrors and EVP. And they're going to be posted as quick as we can get the research together and get it out to you with some examples and some things that we've collected over the years. And we hope that you listen with an open mind. And while we do strive to entertain, because that's every channel entertains, or hopes to, I would think, but we want to entertain you, but we also want to enlighten you and to provide knowledge and to learn ourselves. So thank you for listening, and this is the Lightseeker signing off until we meet again.